Ladies and gentlemen, and Pokemon fans of the world, Crasher chases back to deliver to you yet another Pokemon X and Y analysis video featuring a completely cool as hell Pokemon known as Heliolisk. Now, just take a look at this guy. He looks like a freaking dinosaur, most notably the Dilophosaurus, which has the frill as depicted in Jurassic Park. And when this guy goes to attack, he flashes his frill while unleashing absolute hell and carnage. So, with all that said, it's time to go over things like its typing, abilities, and stats, and a few set ideas I have for you. So with Heliolisk, it sports the very unique and first-time type combination of electric and normal, which is really good in the regard that you are now immune to ghost-type moves, which in my opinion is very overpowered in this generation, especially due to the steel-type nerf. Um, However, with the normal typing, you are weak to fighting-type moves, which means that moves like Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave can be a serious problem for this guy. Um, as for the abilities, it gets three of them, all of which work under a different variation of weather. Dry Skin works well in rain, as you are immune to water-type moves that restore your HP by 25%, and when you're under the effects of rain, restores your HP a little bit at the end of each turn. The next ability, Sand Veil, increases your evasiveness, and allows you to be immune to sandstorm damage, and its hidden ability, Solar Power, is a really cool ability that functions under the effects of sun. It powers up your special attack moves by 50%, but the drawback, you lose an eighth of your health at the end of each turn, which kind of sucks. Um, and as for its stats, you can tell that this guy is meant to be a very fast and very powerful special attacker. I mean, with base 109 special attack and base 109 speed, it's very, very, very powerful. However, its defenses, especially on the physical side, are really not that good. I mean, base 94 special defense is passable, but its base 52 physical defense is absolute garbage, and along with its base 55 attack is kind of garbage, and pales in comparison to its 109 special attack, which I had already mentioned, and its base 62 HP really does it no favors either, which kind of sucks because this guy's staying power is rather limited, but that's quite okay because this guy is meant to be a very powerful hit and run kind of guy, because this guy learns Volt Switch. So with all that said, it's time to go over its first set. So with this first move set here, we're going to be turning Heliolisk into quite the fearsome and speedy special attacker. The nature that we're going to be giving it is either a modest or a timid nature. Modest to give you that extra boost in special attack, while timid gives you that extra boost in speed. And as for the ability, we're going to be going with Dry Skin, and I forgot to mention that the drawback in this ability is you take more damage from Fire-type moves, and you also lose health under the effects of Sun, so please keep that in mind. The item for choice, we have Choice Specs to lock you into one move and increase your special attack, Choice Scarf to lock you into a move and increase your speed, and Life Orb to give you a 30% boost in all your moves, but take away a tenth of your HP at the end of each turn. Now as for the EV spread, we have 4 into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. And the moveset, we have Thunderbolt being the most reliable and accurate electric type move, which hits very hard. Then we have Surf, which Heliolisk is very special to get this move, and under the effects of rain, it's going to be Pseudo Stab. And the next move that we have is known as Focus Blast, and although it's a very risky move because it has really bad accuracy, once it hits, it's going to be doing some very big and massive damage. And the last move that we have is known as Volt Switch, which is very good on Heliolisk to have, because it basically allows you to make your attack and switch with another one of your Pokemon that's waiting to battle. Now, some moves to consider. I have two here. I have Grass Knot being an alternative for the likes of either Volt Switch or Focus Blast, but I do not recommend you switch out or Volt Switch because it's pretty much what makes Heliolisk a very good hit and run Pokemon. Grass Knot targets the likes of bulky water, ground, and rock types, but Surf pretty much does the same job. And if you happen to run into water type Pokemon, then you just blast them with Thunderbolt. And the next move that we have is known as Thunder, and I have in brackets Under Rain, which means that if you have a Rain Dancer or a Drizzle Inducer on your team, then please use Thunder over Thunderbolt because it gives you more power, and it also eliminates the poor accuracy, and you have a higher percentage to paralyze your opponents. So that basically wraps up this set. It's time to move on to another one. So before I go on with the next set here, I just want to say that I had forgot that this guy gets Dark Pulse. So if you want to add that into moves that you want to use in the last set, then you're more than welcome to do so. Dark Pulse, in my opinion, is a very solid move to have. And if you throw that in along with the coverage that Surf and Thunderbolt give, you're going to be hitting a wide variety of types for super effective or neutral damage. And it also has the added bonus of flinching every now and then, 20% to be exact. So with this set here, we're going to be making use of this guy's hidden ability, that being Solar Power, turning this guy into a fearsome Sun Sweeper. The nature that we're going to be giving it, once again, either a modest or timid nature. The ability, as I had just said, we're going to be going with Solar Power, and the item for choice, basically the same choices as the last set. Choice Scarf to lock you into one move and increase your speed, Choice Specs to lock you into one move and increase your special attack, and Life Orb to give you the freedom to switch moves and give you a 30% boost, but also lowers your HP 10% at the end of each turn. And I have Caution here in brackets. Use Life Orb with caution, especially with Solar Power's recoil and the Life Orb recoil. You're going to be whittling yourself down pretty fast, which means that your staying power is seriously limited. Now, as for the EV spread, we have 4 into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. And the move set, we have Thunderbolt being the most reliable electric type move that there is that hits perfectly, unless, of course, your opponent decides to use a move that raises the evasiveness, which last time I checked is banned from competitive play. Uh, the next move that we have is known as Grass Knot, which is a cool substitute for Surf, because Surf, under the effects of Sun, will not be doing much, even if it is super effective. And the next move that we have will benefit very well from the Sun boost, that being Hidden Power Fire, therefore giving you pseudo stab, so to speak. And the last move that we have is known as Volt Switch, which is absolutely mandatory on this guy, because it allows you to be quite the decent revenge killer slash scout. Now, moves to consider, once again, we have Focus Blast, because although it's a move that misses quite a bit, once it hits, it will do serious damage. And then we have Dark Pulse being another move to consider. And as I mentioned before, it's a move that flinches your opponents and will actually give you really good coverage with this set and the last set. So that basically wraps up this set. And I basically have one more thing that I gotta say, so please stay tuned. So something that I want to make note of real quick before I wrap this video up is that Heliolisk gets a special move that is exclusive to it only, and that is Eerie Impulse. And what this move does, by Cerebee's definition, the user's body generates an Eerie Impulse. Exposing the target to it harshly lowers the target's special attack stat. So what this means is that after you use this move, you'll be harder to take down on the specially defensive side. So if you want to use this along with Glare and Substitute, on a more defensive set, you are more than welcome to do so. However, it will not be as successful due to its limited defensive power, so please keep that in mind. That although this set would be fairly unique, it's also a really gimmicky set, and it's a very high risk option to go with. Me personally, I would go a more offensive route for this guy, but should you choose to use a more defensive set, you're more than welcome to do so. So that basically wraps up this entire video on Heliolisk. I hope you enjoyed it. And that basically wraps up another Pokemon analysis video. So I hope that you guys have a good night, and I will see you next upload. This is Crasher Chase signing off.